Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining our Acumatica Cloud ERP AI webinar. My name is Sullivan Sanders, a marketing coordinator here at Action Associates. And without further ado, enough of me talking, let me introduce today's presenter, Christine Jacob. I'm going to go ahead and hand it on over to her to get us started.
Thank you, Sullivan. Appreciate it. So welcome, everyone. Excited to talk to you today about AI, especially AI, specifically in Acumatica. And so you've joined, so you're not sick of this topic, and you really shouldn't be. Well, hopefully by the end of this session, you'll be more intrigued than anything else. So looking forward to that. So as we get started here, what am I going to focus on today? A little bit of why Action and Acumatica, right? To give you a little bit of a background of why is she even talking about these subjects. Then kind of an Acumatica AI overview, really, and an overview to Acumatica's AI approach, right? And some examples of that approach, examples that are new and examples that have existed for a few years, frankly, within the application. So again, to introduce myself, my name is Christine Jacob. I am the managing sales lead here at Action Associates. I've really enjoyed being in the Acumatica ecosystem for over 10 years and in ERP for over 20. And that's what I'm stopping to count. I work with prospective customers and existing clients. So I know the value of a strong long-term partnership. And really that starts with your experience in the sales process in that ERP evaluation process. Action itself is a leading technology partner in North America with a very rich history of over 45 years of helping businesses transform through ERP implementations and other softwares. So we've really built a reputation as one of the top VARs. And our focus is not just solving software problems, it's really trying to provide our expertise and services to provide solutions that really matter to our customers and help them succeed in the long term. Our focus is tailored into industries that we serve. So that's construction, that's distribution, that's manufacturing and commerce. And we also have advisory support services for real transformation for your people and your processes. We've had a long partnership and strong history with Acumatica, and we're proud to be an Acumatica Gold certified partner. And that just recognizes the depth of our expertise and our commitment to customer success. Action's been nominated for Partner of the Year several times, including Acumatica President's Club. And this is just recognition of partners that deliver to the right client outcomes. We've invested, and our investment in Acumatica is growing. We've made big investments in our people and skill sets and capabilities to support our Acumatica customers to scale. We have a dedicated team of over 50 professionals and growing by the minute, focused on Acumatica sales and service and support. The idea, again, of this expertise is to ensure that we can deliver functional expertise across industries and with different types of projects. We also bring a robust ecosystem of what people call ISVs, or third-party add-on solutions, basically the marketplace of Acumatica. And we look at ones that we've tested and we certify onto our own catalog, right? And that gives our clients access to these add-ons to extend Acumatica's core functionality to meet a specialized requirement, and to know that we have some experience and we've tested with those solutions. Our biggest differentiators is our track record of successful go lives. And so that comes from a combination of team, industry experience, and our proprietary lean process for sure. Over time, we've developed this lean implementation methodology, and it's designed to streamline implementations, to reduce risk, and to produce shorter timelines to go live and higher adoption rates amongst our clients, and just more predictable outcomes as they move through adopting an ERP system for the first time, whether they're moving from a legacy system or moving from something modern. But throughout our lean implementation steps, we've organized a predictability process of moving a customer forward through go live. We follow these steps certainly to make sure again, pardon me, this doesn't mean that we are challenge free for sure. Change is hard, right? And we certainly use this framework to help us tackle those challenges efficiently and effectively as we work through a project. But it's really about understanding your challenges that your business faces in trying to implement that ERP solution. But it's also providing our clients, like I said, with experience, with guidance that they need to go through the implementation as smooth as possible. So let's really talk about why Acumatica. So Acumatica was born in the cloud in 2008, and as a partner, there's 3 differentiators for us why we chose to work with Acumatica. Acumatica is modern, but it has been built in the cloud from day one, and our clients really needed that. They focus on mid-market companies, so they get challenges and companies in the space and their growing pains. And it's not just tech for tech's sake, right? It's more about making your business more efficient. So with Acumatica as this customer first culture, it has an active Acumatica community. And they work through the partner channel, as I've stated, so that you've got that long-term partnership and we walk in collectively together, which is very important for you. Acumatica in itself, if you're on this presentation and you aren't familiar with Acumatica, it is an enterprise solution that has a depth of functionality in one solution. So whether that's advanced financials, global currency, project accounting, CRM modules, field service, fixed asset, manufacturing, distribution, inventory with WMS, all of these are modules built within the same code base. That means that they're connected seamlessly, even though we may sell them in additions, right? So that's what really differentiates Acumatica, to bring one core system to the table when you're struggling. Generally, companies not on Acumatica are struggling with multiple disconnected applications. And Acumatica really unlocks possibilities that just weren't feasible before. Again, at a fundamental level, gives you access anytime, anywhere, any device, so your teams can collaborate without those barriers that may have been in place before. It's simple to integrate. It comes with integration capabilities so that data can flow freely if there are solutions that you are using outside of Acumatica. But beyond the basics of functionality, right? Acumatica is trying to set a foundation for advanced analytics, for automation, and especially when we talk about AI, for computing power, right? So Acumatica deployed in the cloud, really, it's the foundation that helps you operate your business smarter, faster, and more competitively. The customer bill of rights, the reason why I focus on this is because it's such an anomaly in the industry. Acumatica is very transparent with their pricing. It's on an unlimited user model. You own your own data, and you have the ability, like I said, to adopt modules as you need them, right? So you can not only have unlimited users, but you are looking at what modules that you need. And trust is more important, really, now more than ever, with AI becoming a part of the ERP. You absolutely need the confidence that your vendor is trustworthy, secure, and transparent about how your data is used. So Acumatica's public commitment is displayed on their Bill of Rights. It means that you're not just really buying software. They are just as concerned with the partnership as Action is. So let's talk a little bit about what is AI and machine learning. So I'm sure many of you are at least familiar with AI, right? And so to set the table for our discussion, let me simply state that AI and ML, or artificial intelligence and machine learning, are concepts which enable machines to do more complicated tasks. AI is data-driven. Advances in data processing, both in technology and in speed, they make it possible to crunch large volumes of data to create content, code, images, videos, and more. This diagram illustrates two types of AI, algorithmic and generative. And algorithmic is really more the machine learning. So an example is recognize a document. Somebody sends a PDF file build to you, a PDF build to you. A process runs to recognize those fields, and you get a result that's represented in the screen. But the vendor name is wrong, so you go ahead and correct it. That information is then sent back so that next time a similar bill comes in, the same mistake isn't made again. So machine learning is very effective in that function. And then there's generative AI. This is the newer aspect of AI. It's sort of the new brain for your ERP solution. And by new brain, what I'm referring to is the fact that most ERPs are relational databases, right? For our SQL fans in the audience. Generative AI is based on training data that's in a data engine that's based on vectors. As technical as we'll get in this conversation, but it allows you it allows it to build things and come up with content in creative ways. So what can you do to make any of these large language models, which are being used, basically, you want to be able to take advantage of these large language models that are out there in the world, and you want to be able to train them, right? So what this allows you to do is you come in and you ask it a question, and it'll return an answer. So unlike an ERP, when you're managing things inside of a screen, you can use verbal commands. You speak English or whatever your language is, and this large language model responds. So I can give it a command and it will do it. So the benefit of having these engines produce results so what I should say is really imagine that benefit of having the large language models and these engines produce results based on your ERP data. Let the computer generate the charts and the data visualizations that tell you which customers to contact, to detect data anomalies across millions of records, to answer questions related to running your business better. So one of these things Acumatica has actually always been good at is role-based security. So when Acumatica trains the language model, it considers this security, and they considers this as part of the security. So they do this so that no one can come in and ask for payroll information, for example, right? So Acumatica is building in these safeguards in the security. Acumatica's kind of AI first approach, to talk about Acumatica specifically, isn't about bolting on capabilities. It's really about solving your business challenges in new and better ways. And in the process, ensuring that you don't have to be an AI expert to experience the benefits. And instead of imposing AI on you through functionality that's difficult to apply, Acumatica is seamlessly bringing it to you in workflows, your teams, your industry solutions. You can just improve the way that work gets done. So basically, Acumatica's AI first approach is build it so it's easy, it's quick, and it's efficient. So I'm going to really break down this into three pillars, if you will, or three areas. So intelligent advisors, automation, and interactive assistance. Intelligent advisor is it looks at your data and says, you may want to try X. And automation is you have some data in the system that you're repeating the same task over and over again. You want to tell it to go do X if Y happens, for example. And an interactive assistant is if you're in the middle of doing something and the computer, you may need help, right? You're going to ask for help, and then you can decide if that information is useful. So not force feeding you AI, but making suggestions. So at a high level, we'll talk about Acumatica's AI architecture. You have users that access Acumatica from web browsers, from a mobile app, right? You also have external systems that feed data into Acumatica. So think of AI as another input to the database. The benefit of the Acumatica model is that all of the inbound data is going through, as I've said, Acumatica's security model. So you can only see things that you're authorized to see. Acumatica has never necessarily just trusted a browser that's on someone's PC. So they're going to treat data that comes from AI or from ML the same way. It's going to go through that security model, and that impacts outbound data as well. It's important to understand. Driving a little deeper into the cloud servers. So everything you have, all of the business logic, right? And this is where you are putting all of your projects, your bills, your purchase orders, your service appointments, your bill of materials, production orders, CRM, etc., financials. You get it. The only way to get information into the Acumatica database or to get it out is through that business logic layer. So it's a very important part of the Acumatica security model. The other thing I want to point out is that Acumatica has built an internal LLM, right? So it uses this for such areas as anomaly detection, and Acumatica maintains this LLM. So you don't have to worry about the complexity of getting AI set up. And then one of the most recent releases of Acumatica 25R2, Acumatica included AI Studio. So this actually allows you to bring in your own LLM. And the benefit of that is that you can manage your own LLM. You can train it, right, to do things that are secure because it's within your firewall. So this would certainly requires you to write your own prompts, but again, Acumatica does provide that now, that ability now with the AI Studio. And I should also point out that voice has also become an input, right, for data. So it'll also be part of that transition to this new user interface that Acumatica has with this recent release in September. So let's focus on just the intelligent advisor and what are some examples of that. So anomaly detection. So why is anomaly detection important? Well, ERP systems are complex. They have a lot of data in them. And you want to be able to get to that data, and getting to data that you want to take action on without doing a lot of searching. So instead of digging through data to find outliers, you can now rely on AI-powered detection to highlight potential anomalies early and before they turn into costly problems. So in Acumatica, we have this concept of generic inquiries. So any of those inquiries can be flagged to look for anomalies. Great news to existing customers. Anomaly detection too. You don't always have to go and run this. This anomaly detection can run overnight. It can appear on a dashboard, for an example. It can appear as conditional formatting, if you will, on an inquiry. So let's really discuss a little bit why anomaly detection is important, and why we want it to be easy to configure. and how it's used, excuse me. So while these anomaly detections can run overnight and appear in a dashboard, there is some examples that we're using for anomaly detection in 25R2, which was recently released. Cross-sell assistant, for example, automatically generates suggestions for stock and non-stock items, and it does so by analyzing the history of your historical data of what you've sold. So this saves you time, certainly, from being able to, from having to look at this manually. So it'll recommend those cross-sell items, that are generally separate but end up being sold together. You can also do some deeper dive analysis. So identify sales orders with margins that are too small or too large, probably not too large. Purchase orders, cost analysis, certainly, right? When you're making sure that is that PO within bounds of what you're used to? Vendor price analysis certainly does that. Advanced looking at the three-way match too of purchase order, purchase receipt, and AP bill. For those of our manufacturing companies that may be watching, for sure, production, total variance, labor variance, employee efficiency, I know is one that's always a key in manufacturing. So several ways that this anomaly detection will help bring data to the forefront. As far as automation goes, so if you're familiar with Acumatica or you've been out there on the web, AP automation is obviously a big topic for Acumatica, for in general, right? Acumatica has always had, or for some time has had, AP document recognition as one of its native modules. And what this is using is machine learning, right, to bring in sort of in the example I used earlier, where an AP bill could come into an inbox, or you can drag and drop it into a specific screen. It's going to read those fields that you have and be able to start to create that. It's reading those fields. It's allowing you to make adjustments and corrections. And then it's also creating that AP bill. And it's creating that bill with that document attached. So again, automation is trying to eliminate those keystrokes. Advanced expense is another one for, I always say this, they always say, don't get excited don't talk about features that excite you. Well, I have to talk about advanced expense. So as someone who's been in this industry a minute and certainly has stood in front of a copier, for anyone that knows what that is, and with a piece of paper and had to submit receipts and working late to submit those receipts. Now Acumatica Advanced Expense has the ability to use the mobile app to take pictures of that receipt in order to produce a receipt transaction and then ultimately produce a claim. And what the machine learning within Advanced Expense is that it's scanning that receipt again, putting that information putting that data into those screens effectively, so not everything is based off of your keying data, which saves you time. So I talked about AI Studio, which was released. So this AI Studio, again, allows you to bring in your own learning into Acumatica, but you can also create some efficiencies within Acumatica. So like asking your LLM to write an email that's sent from Acumatica. A lot of people do this with either Copilot or ChatGPT or some of the other LLMs. Another example could be automatically updating the priority of a case based on the severity of the language used by a customer. I'll let you sit with that for a second. But automatically generate closing notes too for a support case. So you consistently have a summary of that support case. And also in the future, generating stock item descriptions. So not something that you have to do, but something that it calls in from an LLM. And from an interactive assistant perspective. So from here, I'm actually going to share my screen and kind of click through what an interactive assistant will look like within Acumatica. So in sharing my screen, and I will just confirm that you can see my screen.
Yep, we're all good.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So in this interactive assistant, right, can be used for help for sure in what I'm doing. And I'm on this sales order margin analysis GI. From here, I want to engage with the AI assistant. So saying hello, or just asking a question. How are my sales compared to yesterday? That will bring back those results for you for sure. And it can also create a chart of those results. So, and looking at, from there, what are my top selling inventory IDs, right? And it representing that not only in a chart, but also visually returning those results for you. As I'm sure you're familiar with this, if you've used things like ChatGPT or you're analyzing your data, really number of different ways to break down that data even further as you walk with and work with the AI assistant. So in essence, it's compounding. Like some of us have these smart devices in our home, and it's one question, right? Ask it one question, answers the question, it shuts off, right? It's compounding questions, which is the massive improvement in the in what we're seeing in AI today. So you'll see more to come with Acumatica's AI assistant towards the end of this year, and then more to come in early 2026. So really, what are the takeaways for today? Certainly, AI and ML are artificial intelligence and machine learning, right? It's revolutionary, but it's been coming for a while. So everybody talks about this is the next technology revolution, and I've been fortunate to live through a few of them for sure. So this is an awesome time. Acumatica has a strategy, and they're starting to deliver on that strategy for AI in a lot of the examples that we showed today. AI doesn't have to be something that small to medium-sized businesses go, oh my gosh, is it just up to me to deliver this on my own? How do I get a step ahead working with my business partner and working with Acumatica? So you don't have to deliver it on your own. As a matter of fact, most small businesses cannot deliver it on your own. Acumatica is also, with its security, looking at delivering AI, not just for AI's sake, but delivering so responsibly, securely, and effectively to make sure that it's really useful within your business, right? And this will continue to evolve. So this isn't, the application will continue to expand. And we're excited about that for you, and look forward to input too from our customers as well. So really want you to be able to leverage AI in Acumatica for your business. And hopefully today, what you've been able to see is been able to learn more about AI and also see how Acumatica is approaching AI in the market.
Awesome. Wonderful. Well, as always, Christine, thank you so much. What a wonderful presentation. And like I said, I'm just in marketing, but I love hearing this myself. I'll tell you what, I love sitting in on these, and you did a great job. So thank you so much. So we are going to go ahead and roll into the Q&A session. I see that there aren't any right now, but we'll give you guys just a minute or two to throw any in there if you do have any. So if you have any questions, like I said, please throw them in there and we'll get to them shortly. But if you are hopping off in the meantime, we ask that you please fill out the survey to let us know how we did. We like to look at that survey and, see what we can do to make this experience better for you guys. If there's anything else, that we can do to make this, a little more a better use of your time if it's not what you want it to be. So, all right. So let's see. Give me just a couple more seconds here, guys. As of right now, we don't have any. So I guess that's kind of a good thing. Christine really covered it all, right?
It is a massive topic. It's really funny. We've had business partners that have come to us and said, is it okay to talk about AI? And because the response has been all over the board. The most of the feedback that I've received about AI is it's very positive, and people have been adopting it in their personal lives. They're excited about adopting it in their professional lives, and even for us, we're looking at internally, like, how do we use AI to impact the sales cycle, right? To impact the information that's gathered. And why is that critical? Because the better information transition from sales to service, the better the project. So we're evaluating it as well. And I think we've done quite a bit in a short amount of time, but I'm definitely a fan of continuous improvement, much to the team's chagrin. But yeah, I just love to see what are those ways that we can have a positive impact, as on not only our own processes and our own life and the hours that we spend working, but really, how does that serve our customers, and how does that make their experience better? That's the part that really excites me, because that's where I see the real efficiency gain. But learning how to use AI without being impersonal, like, that's really key. It's not an opportunity to shut off your brain, right? It's definitely just an opportunity to think about how you can differentiate yourself more, and maybe do those things that you would have loved to have done, but you've never had time to do.
Awesome. Yeah, couldn't agree more. Alrighty, well, looks like you covered it all, Christine. We do not have any questions, so okay. I'll just go ahead and close it off for us. Thank you, Christine, as
Wonderful.
Always, for the wonderful presentation.
Thank you,
and thank you everybody for joining us. We appreciate your time, and if you do have any questions, you can reach out to Christine or info@action.com. Okay, alrighty, that is it for us today. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful